Inwayata no Sahai is my amiable name, and I'm so delighted to come your way one more time. This very first Wednesday of the month of August 2026, and we have been on our series, which is the topic different leadership styles and their impact on workplace dynamics. And this morning, we are focused on, that is actually what we have been doing since the last 3 weeks. We have been focusing on the police institution, how different leadership styles can be applied by this leadership, the leadership of the police institution, and then be able to drive effectiveness and productivity in that institution. And this morning, the case scenario we are going to use for this conversation is how a police commissioner apply the pace setting and coaching leadership styles to address a disturbing security situation. How a police commissioner apply the pace setting and coaching leadership styles to address a disturbing security situation. Now, in the school of leadership, the pace setting leadership style is that leadership style where the leader sets a standard, he sets an expectation, and he exemplifies that standard. He exemplifies that expectation. In other words, the summary of the pace-setting leadership style is an exemplary leadership template or model. The leader tells you, this is what I want, this is what I want you to do, and then he exemplifies it. That is very important in driving effective leadership. Then the coaching leadership style is about developing people for the future. It's about guiding people. It's about mentoring, your team members for them to be effective and productive. And this case scenario this morning says how a police commissioner applied the pace setting and coaching leadership styles to address a disturbing security situation. Let me go straight into the case scenario. It goes, after serving for 2 years as a commissioner of police in a Nigerian state, the commissioner had earned a reputation for professionalism and operational excellence. However, the state suddenly experienced a disturbing rise in coordinated kidnappings, armed robberies, and attacks on isolated communities. Although officers were committed, the growing sophistication of criminal groups exposed gaps in intelligence gathering, rapid response, and interdivisional coordination. So we have just recognized the statement of problem. This is a situation the state has been facing. The commissioner has spent 2 years in that particular state, the commissioner of police, and now this is a situation. What the commissioner of police is going to do as we dive deeper into the case scenario is engaging the pace setting leadership style and then also transition into the coaching leadership style, because in leadership there is no one size fits all. You need to know when to apply a particular leadership style and then transition to another, and probably come back to that one as time situation changes, and be able to just make sure that things are working in fluid collaboration. Recognizing the urgency of the situation, the commissioner first adopted the pace setting leadership style. Remember, the pace setting leadership style is a leadership style where you set a standard as a leader and then you exemplify it. Recognizing the urgency of the situation, the commissioner first adopted the pace-setting leadership style by personally demonstrating the level of commitment and professionalism expected from every officer. That is the pace-setting leadership style. The commissioner right now is being a pace-setting leader. He is setting the pace. This is what I want. I want professionalism. I want standard operation or operating procedure, and then he exemplified it. The commissioner attended operational briefings punctually, participated in strategic planning sessions, visited frontline formations regularly, and insisted on timely intelligence report and rapid deployment to security incidents. High performance standards were clearly communicated, while divisional commanders were expected to meet measurable operational targets. This renewed focus improved discipline and strengthened operational coordination and significantly reduced response time across the state. Now, he has just established the pace-setting leadership style, set standard, and then exemplify these standards so that, he could, be able to model what he wants the people to mirror back to him. Now, while noticeable progress was made, The commissioner realized that sustaining success required developing future leaders rather than relying solely on high performance expectations, bringing in the coaching leadership style into the equation. The commissioner therefore introduced the coaching leadership style by mentoring area commanders, divisional police officers, and other supervisors. Regular review sessions were organized to analyze completed operations, identify lessons learned, and improve decision making. Experienced officers were encouraged to mentor younger personnel, while promising officers were assigned greater responsibility under close guidance. Constructive feedback, leadership development, and continuous learning became integral parts of the command's operational culture. Very important. He has applied the pace-setting leadership style, then he brought in the coaching leadership style. Within a few months, intelligence gathering improved, collaboration among formations became stronger, and operational planning became more proactive. Officers displayed greater confidence in handling complex security challenges, while public confidence increased as policing became more responsive and coordinated. By combining high performance expectations with deliberate leadership development, look at that line, very critical. He said, by combining high performance expectations, which is the pace-setting leadership style, with deliberate leadership development, the coaching style, the commissioner not only restored security, but also built a stronger and more capable police command prepared to respond effectively to future threats. That is applying, the pace-setting leadership style, which the commissioner of police in this state, in this particular case scenario, exemplified what he wanted from his officers. And then also along the line, he also understood that it is not just all about setting high performance standards and expectations. You need to be, to develop your people, build their capacity to be able to do what you expect from them. And that is what leadership is all about. Let's go into two key leadership lessons we can glean from this case scenario as I conclude. Number one leadership lesson from here. Leaders achieve lasting results by combining high performance standards with deliberate investment in people. I will take that again. Leaders achieve lasting results by combining high performance standards with deliberate investment in people. And this is what is seriously lacking in the African culture, the African environment or Nigerian environment, whereby leaders, owners of businesses, owners of organizations don't spend time to build the capacity or invest in their people. A very critical responsibility of leadership is capacity building, coaching them, mentoring them, guiding them. This is very important. You have expectations you want them to, bring to the table. You have things you want them to do for you. In addition to that, if you want that expectations to be met, you need to train them. It is said that if you don't train them, don't blame them. So I will take that line again. Leaders achieve lasting results by combining high performance standards with deliberate investment in people. While pace-setting leadership drives excellence, coaching leadership develops competent and confident future leaders. Very important. Remember, pace-setting leadership is about setting high standards and then you exemplify it as a leader. Coaching leadership is about building and developing the people to be able to deliver on expectations. This is very key. Then secondly, the second leadership lesson we are gleaning from this case scenario. Sustainable organizational success depends on building leadership capacity at every level. Senior police officers and leaders across Nigeria and Africa should not only pursue immediate results, but also mentor and empower others to sustain excellence beyond their own tenure. Leadership, from the posterity perspective, not just I'm able to achieve results in my tenure, and then when you leave, the old car, pack of cars will just drop down. You should be able to create a culture that will ensure that even when you are no longer in the picture, the system is still running, even on autopilot. I believe that profound value have been added to you today. Remember the case scenario we just discussed this morning is how a police commissioner applied the pace-setting and coaching leadership styles to address a disturbing security situation. I'll be seeing you next week, Wednesday. And when I return, my name will remain the amiable Inuagata No Sahai. Your day is so blessed. Thank you.